And me, I didn't sign no waiver, no nothing yet. Just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And so I like jumped up there and
Buddy, we are back with another super special guest. Today, we are joined by PPW United States No Limit champion. He's an artist. He is in touch with the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, Rembrandt. Okay, Rembrandt, first off, thanks so much for being with us today.
of course, you already know. Champ is here.
Yeah, absolutely. You are currently the PPW United States No Limit champion. First of all, can you just explain that to us a little bit? I think it was like a couple months ago. Maybe I was chirping you a little bit online with that. Just explain, what is
I
that
got
title?
you. I got you. So basically what happened was I rightfully won the No Limits Championship, even though the former champion nowhere to be found. That
Which is
is
pro,
above
correct?
my pay grade.
Right.
I won my title, didn't physically have my championship, so
Mm,
the current general manager, Joel Ruda, he instated the United States Championship.
mm,
Therefore, I won, and we were moving forward with that championship. But luckily, my baby girl is back, and
yeah.
so me being an egomaniac, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna go out there with two belts because what's better than one? Two. So, with that being said, just to put the little screws to me, they made me defend both titles. And last month, Ruda got involved illegally, making a pinfall cover for somebody, even though he shouldn't be in the match. But again, above my pay grade. But that's where we are now. We got this little ladder match on Saturday. Instead of getting high and just chilling on 420, fortunately, I'm gonna be getting high in other ways just to make sure I don't lose this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why it's been a little chaotic when it comes to the championships right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's get into Saturday. You mentioned already the unification of those titles. Hopefully, you'll be high up there on the ladder, bringing those home. How do you see that match going? Somebody you're very familiar with, and Andy Header, a lot of experience together. Just how do you see that match going? What do you think of your opponent? Everything like that.
I think I said it before. Like with Andy Header, it's not personal. I respect the guy. I think he's a phenomenal person, good worker, all that good stuff. I have no bad things to say about him personally. He's just in the way. He's an avatar, for lack of a better word.
Mm,
Uh, Ruder know he can't fight me. He know he can't get rid of me because I'm a top guy here. So what's the better way to screw me than just sending people to do it because you can't do it yourself? So
mm,
with Andy Header, it's not personal. Now, how I see the match going, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like to get hurt in my matches. I want to do this for a long time. So yeah, I don't like to get hurt, but it's gonna be physical because I know Andy's not gonna stay down. And I'm
mm,
not gonna stay down. This means a lot to me. Being on posters, on you know the marquee, defending championships. That means everything to me. Being the center of attention means everything to me. And if I lose on Saturday, then I lose everything.
mm.
And I don't need that negativity in my life. It's 420. I'm supposed to be happy. So with that being said, I know I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure this stays with me. And oops, look at me getting hyped. Uh, and another thing is, once I'm done defending my championships, I
Mm,
told Ruda I'm gonna erase him from history, and it
mm,
starts when I erase the U.S. title from history. It will
mm.
no longer be an active championship in PPW once I'm done with it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll be there. I'll be there. I look forward to seeing that in person. That's gonna be a massive card, Super Show #4. But just speaking about things that mean a lot to you, just what does PPW like as a whole, as an organization? What does that mean to you? You've been with them for a little while. Just touch on that a little bit.
I don't talk about this often, but It is my home away from New York City. They are truly the first people to give me an opportunity to just be Rembrandt on a stage and perform and not micromanage me, not say, yeah, you're going to be fine, and then behind my back say, oh, this guy doesn't got it. No,
Mhm.
they gave me the ball and said, here, run with it. And to my credit, every time I ran with it. Um, I remember getting booed out the building the first time I showed up because people just didn't know who I was.
Oh, wow.
And now, whether they like what I do or they hate how I win, they can't get enough of me. They still cheer me.
Mm,
And with that being said, that connection means something to me. That's why I come every month. That's why I travel from New York to Pennsylvania. That's why I put my body on the line. That's why I'm in this ladder match because PPW is my home. And it doesn't just end with me being this. Like, I want everything. I want to be the main person on the poster. I want to be the world champion. I want to be the tag team champion. I want to hold everything
mm,
because I've given my everything to PPW and I know the fans give it back to me.
mm.
This is my home. This is my company. If you want to come through PPW, you got to be valid. Simple as that. And it's because I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then you are already a champion in your own right, but do you have a message for Adrian Soriano? He's the heavyweight champ right now, double champ with those trios titles.
Well, as far as him being a double champion, nothing's ever better than the first time. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm the first time double
Mm,
champion in PPW. But right now, he's got his hands full. He has a lot of titles to defend, a lot of people coming after him. And
mhm.
just, I'll just say you're lucky I have a ladder match. That's all.
Yeah, you're busy right now.
I'm busy, but I'm always looking.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now you did mention it. It's your home away from home, but let's just get into your story a little bit. Just tell us where you are from, and then like how you got into wrestling, in the beginning.
I mean, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, half black, half Puerto Rican kid. Uh, my first memory of wrestling is weird because I know I had to be like a toddler or something like that. Like,
Mm,
because I remember seeing Undertaker's entrance from the Royal Rumble. Well, he still had the blue lights. So I
okay.
know I had to be really young because I was born in 93.
Mm,
So I
okay,
just
we're close
remember,
to and I'm from born in
yeah,
'94. Okay.
yeah. So I remember seeing that entrance and just being captivated. Like, it was the coolest shit I had ever seen. And it's like
Right.
really one of my first ever memories.
Mhm.
And my mom just changed the channel and I was sick. But, too young to say anything.
Right.
But eventually, a couple years later, I and my uncle started watching the Monday Night Wars together. He was a big wrestling fan, and he just like watching it with me, beating me up afterwards, different stuff like that.
Mm,
So that became kind of like our bonding thing, and that was the first thing I ever really latched onto.
yeah.
That I watched religiously, consistently, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Um, when he passed on, it's rough for a while for me to like watch it, but eventually, like anything you love, you fall back into it. I fell back into it. Never thought I would be doing it
Mhm.
at all. I go back on like Facebook memories, and you see me like marking out the stuff and talking about like how I saw like my first live show that I could remember
Mhm.
was a live event where I like touched the rock and
Oh, yeah.
lost it. But then uh as a teenager, I saw Amazing Red for the first time.
Yeah.
He ended up becoming my trainer 10 years after I posted about it.
Wow.
And it's just, I never thought I was going to wrestle. Like, I just happened to. He was the first time I was like, oh, wait, there's people like normal size that can do this shit. Like, you don't have
Mhm.
to be 6'3" and huge.
Right.
Um, but yeah, ironically, he ended up becoming my trainer. I was trying to go to Kurt Angle school.
Mhm.
I don't know why I ended up at Red School because it's in two different states. I was out of it at the moment. But yeah, after I came back from the army, didn't know what to do with myself. So I was like, let's just try something. I went. I never forget. I was super nervous because, like, what the fuck? And I remember he was training his class, and he looked at me. I was sitting on the outside watching. And he's like, "Hey, you want to do a crossbody?" And me, I didn't sign no waiver, no nothing yet. Just like, fuck yeah. And
Yeah.
so I like jumped up there, and I remember he caught me, and he was like, "Yo, that was pretty good." And that was like the first thing I ever did before I back bumped. Before I did anything, it was a crossbody off the top rope to somebody I saw in person and on TV. And from right there, like I guess the joy I felt, I knew like I wasn't going anywhere. Like I knew like I had found what I loved. Went through a lot of growing pains. Like first couple years, I was atrocious. But I never. It's cliche, but I never gave up. Like I just kept coming back, trying to get better, trying to get better. And then one day, it just thank the Lord, it clicked, and I haven't looked back since. So I give a lot of credit to obviously my trainer Red, and my uncle for still doing this. But also, yeah, it's just sometimes you just love things and it's like above your power. Like I can't tell you why I remember Undertaker's entrance because to me it feels like so long, but I'm sure like it was in passing, so it was just like flicking channels. It was probably like 5-10 seconds,
Yeah.
but it was 5-10 seconds that changed my life forever.
Yeah.
There's never been a point in my life where I haven't loved wrestling in some form.
Interesting. Yeah, those moments are super powerful. It's crazy what can stick with us and probably will stick with you, till you're old. It's amazing. But
Mhm.
what were some of those early challenges when you first started like training, everything like that? Just learning the business overall and then the actual wrestling, of course, too.
Well, I will say the first thing was mostly like I mentioned, I was in the military, so I was training to like protect myself. So
Mhm.
learning to willingly bump stuff like that is kind of like crazy to me.
Unnatural.
Unlearning that behavior.
Yeah.
So unlearning that stuff was really hard. The physical stuff was hard because I think I didn't have confidence in myself yet.
Mm,
I wasn't super. I don't want to say I wasn't athletic as a child, but I didn't really care for sports as much as I cared for video games.
got you.
Um, so I did like volleyball in high school and I played basketball with my friends, but nothing crazy. I wasn't trying to get to the NBA.
Right.
But yeah, so like I'm over here learning how to cartwheel for the first time at like 22, 23. And it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm used to not being upside down all the time. So now this is weird.
Mhm.
Little things like that. But also, I wasn't too familiar with indie wrestling or independent wrestling
Right.
until I got to House of Glory and started training with Fred.
Mhm.
But once I started learning about it and understood the legacy that he had left, I
Mhm.
wanted to do my best to live up to that.
Mm.
Um and honor it, and that like it's a long shadow. Like his name is what it is. He's the Amazing Red, like he's done amazing things, given his body for like us and revolutionized the game.
Yeah.
Uh and so I wanted to obviously take what he teaches me and be smarter and stuff like that, but also live up to the legacy in my own way. So learning how to balance that of being Rembrandt and being my own person and
Mm.
not just being a carbon copy of what my trainer wants me to be, but also honoring the legacy that he left. His trainer, Mikey Whipwreck, left, who
Mm.
his trainer, who I believe is Mick Foley. Like these are huge names who I've seen, I've met them before, but as a child, it's like in no way am I thinking I'd be connected to someone like this.
Mm.
So that legacy kind of scared me at one point. Like I
Mm.
really wanted to live up to it, and I feel like I was not letting myself grow because
Hmm.
I was like, well, you got to be great right now because look who look who the lineage is.
Right.
Um, but once I let go and started like trusting myself more, everything started clicking. It's
Mm.
weird how sudden wrestling can be. Like nothing can be happening for like years and years, and then out of
Mhm.
nowhere, you just get it and everything takes off.
Wow.
So yeah, I I was very, very concerned with the legacy aspect of it.
Mm.
Now I trust myself.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's super important.
yeah, and I feel like crowd reactions are
Mm.
the reassurance.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like you had a lot of pressure, and like you said, as soon as you kinda let that go, you were able to just be, more free mentally, physically, everything like that kinda comes with that. But yeah, I just wanna get into your name a little bit, Rembrandt. Just explain where that name comes from originally.
Yerp, yerp. It is I, Agent Soriano,
Matthew Oldman, Gabriel Hatter, baby.
and we are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And we hope you're enjoying this Apples and Grapes podcast.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get back to the action.
Originally, the name doesn't have anything to do with art.
Oh, wow.
Um, have you ever seen the Warriors movie?
Yeah, classic.
Rembrandt. When I first started training, I didn't have my hair like it is now. It
Mm.
was in like a big afro.
Okay, yeah.
Red looked at me and was like, "You look exactly like Rembrandt from the movie,"
Wow.
and that was his way of remembering me. So he would
Mhm,
always call me that. As a tribute to him, I just kind of kept the name.
mhm.
Um, and also I just didn't know what other name to use.
Yeah.
But I to this day I still like I used another name for a little while, but then
Mm,
I went back to this one
mm,
because it means more coming from my trainer, and
mhm,
then also taking what people think about the name Rembrandt. Like when
mhm.
you think of that, you do think of the art, the
Right.
painter, stuff like that. For
Mhm,
me, I wanted to take that but expand on it because
mm.
to me wrestling is art. Art is very subjective. It's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to understand it. But when it's right, it's right.
Mm.
And I feel like with me, I may not do I'm not going to, pull out a 720, but I feel like I will give you the same I will give you, if not the same, more emotional just energy and
Yeah.
fun throughout my performances.
Mhm,
And that's where I take Rembrandt and take it from just a name that was given to me by my trainer and encompass it. Like, yeah, I'm in control now. This is my ring. This is my little blank canvas for a little cliche term. But like seriously, it is. And I can do whatever I want and be whoever I want in that
mhm,
ring on the microphone, commentary. And although my personality isn't much different already,
mhm.
it still allows me to be the best version of myself and also understand that at any given moment I can wipe the slate clean
Mm.
and create something even better if I need to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of wordplay with it, like canvas, you're on the canvas. Just right coming to my mind right now, there's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But how do you feel like the characters kinda evolve? Like, you explained a little bit, you've messed with some names and stuff like that, but, like, indie scene, I feel like, they're on a time crunch, they don't have a lot of opportunity for, like, promos and stuff like that, but, like, how do you work on promos? How do you just evolve the character?
Well, I can't speak for anyone else, but what I will say for me is that if I don't believe in what I'm doing and let it to a certain degree encompass me,
Mm,
then I can't expect anyone else to.
right.
And so everything that I've done in the past matters. I feel like a lot of times people go for a rebirth or whatever, but they leave everything that brought them to the dance behind, and now they don't know who they are anymore.
Mm,
To me, they're like Rembrandt and George, is not that they're not that separate.
mhm,
Rembrandt is just, for lack of a better, expression. The version of me that would be around if I didn't have to worry about getting arrested all the time.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So like, but there's also stuff where like maybe in my regular life I may not feel as confident to try, but as Rembrandt I will try. Not everyone likes walking around in skin tight pants, but as Rembrandt I think I could pull it off. But I feel like how I've evolved is I started off as just some happy kid, happy to be here, a
Yeah.
little pothead. After a while, teaming with Herbal Affairs, shout out Toasty Tom, and Gabriel Brogan, excuse me. And we were just happy to be here, hippies, and then we got brainwashed and we were in a cult for a while, and that was something, and it was fun because I was able to devote myself to something more than me in that faction and try to make it the best thing possible. And in that, I was able to learn and watch. While Anthony Gangone was House of Glory champion, he was sharing the ring with Swerve Strickland. He was sharing the ring with Cody Rhodes, and I was there just soaking it up, learning. So it would be crazy for me to then just be like, oh yeah, none of that ever happened. No, I'm still at my roots, at my core. I'm sorry, my phone keeps
That's okay. It'd be cool if you had a painting on your ceiling or something, so it's
yeah, I definitely do. But at my core, I'm still the kid that signed up to go to wrestling school that was super happy to jump off that top rope.
Yep.
The business has changed me, has molded me, has made me a little more rough around the edges, let's say. I've had life-altering things happen to me, injuries, concussions, heartbreaks, blah, blah, blah. That all matters, and that all goes into Rembrandt. It's the reason why I put so much stock into this. It's the reason why I give my body the way I do, and it's the reason why the fans react the way they do. My evolution is simply learning and growing as the audience grows with me. My first ladder match was last year. Now I'm in my second one. Obviously, I was nervous as hell last year. I don't feel as nervous this year because I've done it and I've grown as a competitor, and I understand now. I won't give away what I'm plotting, but I understand now there are certain things I can do to hurt a man to make sure they don't get up, so I can keep this and keep that kid that signed up to House of Glory all those years ago happy. So yeah.
I think it did a thumbs down when you went like that on the
I
stream.
know, I peeped that. I was confused. I was like,
I didn't
wait,
do that. That was weird. I didn't know. I don't know what that was.
It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah. So, but just kind of segue into that you're still that young kid. Like, what advice would you give to a kid, coming up, maybe 14, 15, wants to get into it? What kind of advice would you have for him? Anybody just starting out?
I would say everything in life has balance. So, yes, give this everything. Position yourself to not be a one-tool person. So, whether that's being a great talker, commentary, an agent, etc., etc. I'm not saying you have to do it now, but just learn. Absorb everything. Sit with the guys in production. Sit with the guys who record. Sit with the guys that commentary and just talk to them. Sit with the fans. Talk to them. See what they like. See what they don't like. Because at the end of the day, yes, this is my canvas, but I also understand it's a give and take. I'm performing for the crowd. The crowd isn't going to dictate what I do, but they are going to tell me what they like and don't like.
Right.
And whether I decide to do something about that is up to me. Now, you're young. You have a lot of time in your hands. Just have fun. Throw yourself into it. Because you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh shit, those times are not here no more. and now it's like really crunch time. So yeah, I would say first and foremost is just throw yourself into it and make sure you love it, because if you don't, I mean, some people get away with not loving it, but for the most part, if you don't love this, kind of in the wrong business, because
Yeah.
you got to be crazy to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, passion project for sure. Especially with the varying levels and stuff like that. And, maybe things not going how you expect and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a lot of mental tribulations that you don't even think of. You just think of the physical stuff. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot that goes on. But yeah, I just want to talk like modern stuff now. Like, who are some of your current favorite WWE guys or girls? I want to get into Mania and stuff like that. But just who do you cheer for nowadays?
Well, I was a big bloodline guy.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, I did acknowledge the tribal chief, but
Mm.
gone away for a little while. I don't want to say I root for anyone in particular, more so than just I love characters, and if your character work gets me, then you got me. So, like for example, Drew, like
Mm.
I love what he's doing right now.
He's evolving for sure.
Yes, he always finds a way to crack me up.
Mm.
You gotta love a guy like Sammy and his passion,
Sure.
Chad Gable, guys like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, younger me would have never in a million years guessed that The Rock would main event Mania 40.
Crazy.
Or much less as a bad guy. So the world, little me was like going insane, like holy shit.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm still gonna be biased towards The Rock because that was my guy growing up.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm just I love. I don't want to sound too cliche, but like I love everything right now just because of how fun it is. Even when, let's say, the material isn't maybe that great,
Mm-hmm.
the people involved are having fun, and the crowd is having so much fun that you can't help but have fun.
Right.
Even if you you may look at something and think to yourself like, "Oh, this is kind of stupid," but then you just start having fun with them, and you're like, "Ah, now I love this person."
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But WrestleMania, yeah, it was in Philly. It was crazy. Did you think Cody was gonna finish the story? I know you said you're a bloodline guy. Like, did you go into it thinking Roman was really gonna retain, or like, what were your genuine feelings before and after?
I feel like I'm in a weird position with storylines because
You don't
I've
know how
been
to feel.
watching wrestling for my entire life,
Yeah.
and I'm not like a super like aficionado guy. Like if it comes across, I'll watch it. So like
Right.
I know my fair share of history and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know everything.
Right.
But just from observing the business, watching wrestling, not just WWE but everywhere, and also having conversations with like Red and stuff like that. The business is kind of changing in a sense, is going backwards, if that makes sense. So like we were going crazy with like match quality after a while.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like slam dunk contest. Like
Right.
after a while, there's only so many dunks you could physically pull off.
True.
So I feel like we're going back now towards more of like storytelling, characters, this, that, and the third. And when Cody lost, all I could think of really was like Dusty's promo about hard times. And I was like, well, what's the most inspirational version of the hard time story to tell right now than his son overcoming literally all of that
Yeah.
to accomplish it a year later. And once I saw that like the crowd never lost faith in him, which I didn't think they would anyway, but a friend of mine did. And so once I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely, by one way or another, he's definitely gonna finish it, because it was too emotionally organic not for him not to finish. Like we said, sometimes wrestling, it just writes itself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's in a great spot right now. I can't wait to see where they go with all the bloodline stuff. Like they just added Tama. There's rumors that Jacob Fatu is going to be involved. But yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. Now, I've heard somebody say, like watching, being a wrestling fan can be like a full-time job because there's just so much out there. For me, I like MMA too, so it's like hard to consume everything. But how much of it do you watch? You say a lot of it, just comes across. But do you try to watch like AEW also? Is it just the big ones? Are you trying to tap into everything?
Uh, I try to watch what I can when I can.
Yeah,
I'm usually busy when
good
most
stuff.
stuff is on because, like we said, everything's on almost every day. But
Yeah,
I do have friends everywhere, so I do watch. I do make a concerted effort to watch my friends' stuff at the very
yeah.
least.
But yeah, and then do you have like any dream matches or anything like that?
I don't usually say I do because for me, a while back, I kind of, I don't know, I had this moment where I was just like, dude, like you're living your dream.
Mm,
And so now every time I wrestle, it's kind of like a dream scenario for me.
right. I got you. That makes sense.
But the one person I wish I would have wrestled one on one that I never got to is my friend Matt Travis, who passed
Mm,
away unfortunately. I would have loved to wrestle him one on one. We trained together all the time, so I knew we would, uh, tear the house down, all that good stuff.
yeah.
But more so than that, like he was in this current incarnation of Rembrandt, he was the person that behind the scenes like pushed me the most and believed in me the most. And when I after I dropped the Ezekiel name and I for the first time you know uh came out as a single superstar,
Mm,
he was there like cheering me on and believing me and hugged me right after the match. And it was an emotional moment. Like he knew I could do it, and he didn't say it in the moment, but the hug let me know, like, yeah. So
mm,
I that was like the dream match that I would want now because I know it can happen until a later time. But
mm.
that's my dream match right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's beautiful. But yeah, and then just what besides, we talked about this Saturday, PPW, what other shows, what other things can we look forward to?
So, like we said, I have the ladder match on Saturday. It'll be in Slatington Expo Center. If you can't go there, you can watch it live on YouTube. Premier
Mm,
Streaming Network, I think is what
I
they're
think we're
calling
on
themselves
there.
now.
I
I
think
know
so.
they changed the name recently, but yeah, you can watch it there. Also, the week after, I believe Sunday the 28th, I'll be in Brooklyn. I'll be at Battle Club. Don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm pretty sure I will make my presence felt because I should be on the card.
Mm,
Uh, Also, we also do tapings. Battle Club X.
mhm.
Those shows air on YouTube. I believe we have an episode airing tonight on YouTube on the Battle Club Pro channel. But usually you get a video like every week or two, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So that's usually where you can find me most consistently.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. If you just want to plug your socials also, where can we find you? Anybody else you want to shout out or anything like that before I let you go?
I want to shout out the fact that your boy Nolan Pierce got the TV title. And so, once I get rid of Andy, I might I might just take his just to spite you. But maybe, I don't know.
You're
We'll
coming for
see.
all the belts.
You know, I can be greedy. But anyway, you can follow me on all socials at the Rembrandt with like 2 underscores underneath it. I try to keep it simple so people can find me. Um, I'm recently back on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm
Even
gonna
though,
always call it Twitter. Like,
yeah, like I was like, man, I can't get down with this shit no more. But then I was like, oh, I got to promote myself. So I'm back on Twitter, at the Rembrandt, Instagram's the Rembrandt. I'm on YouTube now. I'm
Mm,
posting matches. I'm a little late to the game, I guess you want to say, but I am posting matches. I'll probably end up posting one of my more recent matches with Andy Header, probably tomorrow or something like that in the
Yeah.
spirit of the ladder match. But yeah, you can catch me on those platforms. I'm usually pretty active.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's
Something
hard
like
to
that.
keep up with all of it. It's crazy.
Yeah. I
But yeah,
try.
yeah, absolutely, man. So I'll see you Saturday. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that match. I hope you get it done and everything
Definitely, my
like that. I
brother.
can't wait to watch your journey, see where it goes from here.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.